Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa joins us for the last time this season.
Can you believe it? The last time? Really?
It just seems like just yesterday you were staring down the barrel of another season.
Thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get through this year? And yet here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But before we talk about Pops on the River, which is one that I've been definitely looking forward to for reasons that we will explain as the time goes on, let's just take a minute. We got to process just a little bit about your last weekend with Carmina Burana, because that was perhaps one of the finest things I've seen in a while.
Thank you. When you're putting a season together, well, it's like anything else. Even on a Broadway show, you want to start big and you want to end big, and you can't end much bigger with Carmina Burana. I mean, you're talking like almost 100 musicians on stage and over 100 choristers, and all like just playing and singing their guts out. I mean, and it's such an iconic piece, and so it was quite a high. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've got the best seat in the house. And so when everybody is just firing on all cylinders like that, and you can just see people just digging it, it's very electric. But I have to say, even so many days later, my body hurts. I mean, it was quite a workout.
So this is this can be physically strenuous as well as being, testing you emotionally and mentally.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that, because really the emotional weight of it, when you have a really great performance, I chew on it for a couple weeks afterwards, and it's still a full 6-course meal that I'm working on. And but also physically, a lot of people laugh. The conductor just waves their arms, big deal. Well, that's a little bit more than that. And to keep all these forces in check and and working together, and also the mental stress of just the logistics of making it all happen. We not only performed at the Paramount, but also in Iowa City at the Voxman, and just to put the show on the road and to make it all happen seamlessly. Wow. I mean, I have to tell you, I had many sleepless nights for months leading up to this program. So there's this incredible relief as well.
Now, we talked a couple of weeks ago with the orchestra play along with E.T. about that being very stressful because of adding the concept of staying in time and staying in sync. So kind of compare those two with me a little bit.
That's a really great point, because with E.T. there is no room for interpretation. It's either right or it's wrong, and it's how it lines up with the dramatic elements in the film, which is immovable. And so you have to remove yourself from the musical process, and it's basically just making sure everyone is playing correctly and at the right tempo at the right time, which is its own challenge, because musicians and orchestras are living, breathing organisms.
And they are 80 different organisms.
Right, and to steer that to be so precise with the film is very difficult. Now, when you don't have anything external like a film or a ballet or an opera, you have more leeway in the creative process of how you pace the music and how it unfolds. And that's, quite frankly, the fun part of my job. But it's also stressful to make sure that everybody's ready. And I get nervous during the rehearsal process, not during the concerts. If the rehearsal process has gone well, I'm a happy camper, and I almost no stress at all. This was very stressful because there were so many moving parts. And when you have logistically complicated programs like this, not just about herding cats to get on stage, but to herd those cats on stage twice in 2 different venues. That is, I kid you not, the people who are listening to this interview might go, yeah, whatever. You have no idea. It is really, really stressful. And so by the time I was able to give the downbeat in rehearsal, was like, okay, finally we're here, and this is going to happen. And boy, did it happen. And not just happen, it happened well. And not just well, it was amazing.
Yeah, well, congrats again, because it was just, it's just one I think we're all going to remember for a long time.
I agree. I'm going to be smiling about this one for years.
And so that brings us to the conclusion of the season. This is just kind of a cherry on the top.
Yes.
This is probably, it's probably not going to be hugely stressful for you, assuming the rehearsals and things go well. So, but it's certainly going to be fun.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and there's a lot to say just professionally, being able to wrap up the season with a program that I know everybody's going to love, the musicians are going to love, but we don't have to work that hard at it, and we're going to show up and it's just one big smile.
Yeah, everybody gets to have fun.
Yeah, how can you not like the music of the Eagles?
Pops on the River, coming up on Saturday, June 1st. It's is this the first time the orchestra's performed at McGrath Amphitheater?
It is the first time
I think it is.
At the McGrath. Yeah. Normally we've used to perform outdoors at Bruce Moore, but this is the first time we're going to be at this wonderful venue. It has the advantage of having a built-in roof. You know, that's one of the mitigating factors. But I mean, what a great way to celebrate the city again. And we used to do something similar in the aftermath of the flood, ending our seasons at Colonel Stadium.
Oh, right.
With a similar idea, but this will be at McGrath, and to do the music of the Eagles, which is so, God, what's the word? Ecumenical. I mean, it's just like, again, you can't find a style of music that I think is so wide and deep in the American culture that everyone's going to love.
Yeah, and I don't think you could find a band that is universally loved like the Eagles. There are a few. I mean, the Beatles are landmark.
Yep.
We can run down the list, but I think no matter how old you are, no matter what kind of music you like,
correct,
you probably have a favorite Eagles song in your playlist.
And I was thinking on the way over here why they're so great. I think any great band, any great composer, I mean, I don't care what genre of music we're talking about, they find their own voice by fusing so many different elements and yet making it look so easy and organic, because fusion is very difficult. So are they a country band? Well, yes, but no. Are they folk? Yes, but no. Are they rock and roll? Yes, but no.
But also no.
Are they easy listening? Yes, but yeah. I mean, it's and yet they are unmistakably the Eagles, And so pick your tune that you love, and we're going to be playing it.
Well, I'm coming into this having been immersed in the Eagles. Of course, because of my age, I have always been immersed in the Eagles, but I got a chance to see them on their current tour just a couple of months ago.
Wonderful.
And so you would think that would put this down on my, that's not going to be quite, it's not going to be quite so, you probably aren't that excited about seeing it. Oh no, I am doubly excited. Number one, because I left that concert wanting to hear all those songs again. But the other thing is, as good as they are, and they are good, there was no symphony orchestra behind them.
Correct.
Those places where normally you'd have violins and things like that, it was a very, very good synthesizer.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
But so I am really looking forward to
the
this.
irony here is that all these great bands went into retirement and have recently come out of retirement again. And it's like, oh, well, okay. So it's kind of weird doing this music when the band came out of retirement again. However, like you said, you don't get to see the show with that very often with the full orchestra behind them, just bolstering what they do. The full 4-part harmony, which is their calling card, will still be there. Everything that you've grown up loving will still be there. And we were also talking off air, what makes them so great is not only of the tight harmonies, but they were writing in a way, this sort of chill way, that was always good for their voices.
They wrote for their own voices, and they wrote music they could sing.
Yeah, and healthily. I mean, they didn't have to scream or anything. And as a result, if you go to a revival tour of some of your favorites, they have to change the key to a lower key. I mean, Elton John and Billy Joel, even they're not touring anymore, they can't sing that high anymore, and so they've had to do their classics in a different key. Whereas the Eagles, I mean, they're still doing it just because everything is so comfortable, which is just their style. I mean, it's like chill, have a cocktail. This is going to be great.
And this is not just a completely prepackaged, here's the music. This show has been kind of in development, and my understanding is from talking to your ops VP, the great Ed Carr, that this is, I think, only like a second or third time that this show has been done. You're getting the music with all the pencil marks.
Yes,
in it.
This is the second time it'll have been performed, and this is the group that actually got the licensing blessing from the Eagles themselves. There's this trend in the orchestra world to do a lot of these concerts, these rock concerts with orchestra background. And in the last 15 years, there was always a little bit of tension about, well, who has the licensing about this? How did you get permission to do all this? And so this is sort of the official sort of blessing from the Eagles themselves that this particular program represents us well.
Yeah, one show only.
Yeah.
On the banks of the river.
On the banks of the river at McGrath Theater.
Also,
auditorium. Yeah.
we should make note too, earlier start time than most orchestra concerts.
We're outdoors, so it's 7 o'clock, and this is an unusual animal as well. If you want tickets, our box office will be certainly able to help you, but it is a Ticketmaster.
Because you're working with VenueWorks through, that runs McGrath.
So to get tickets, you have to go online to creventslive.com.
Okay.
Or just call somebody at the orchestra box office, and they'll put you to the right place.
They'll be able to move you along.
But this is kind of unusual because for people who follow the orchestra, they usually just call up the box office and it's one and done. But this is going to be a slightly different animal just because it's controlled through Ticketmaster. So creventslive.com.
We've produced a lot of events at McGrath Auditorium and McGrath Amphitheater.
Sorry, it's hard to make the transition.
Hard to make the transition from indoors to outdoors. And it is it's a great place to perform and also a great place to watch. Every seat is a good one.
Yep. Speaking of which, you can bring your own chairs as well. There'll be food vendors on site, so bring the whole family and have a great time. That's what it's all about.
All right. It's coming up Saturday the 1st. It's Pops on the River, climax of the Orchestra Iowa season. So, Tim, just, sit back, relax, enjoy.
I'm going to have the biggest smile of anybody because that is this has been a great season, but I'm tired. So it's a great way to celebrate it. And so, Dennis, if I don't see you sooner, have a great summer.
Well, you too, and rest and recharge. And before you know it, we'll be talking about 24-25.
I know. Here we go.
And and there's a lot of fun stuff we've got planned already.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much, Tim.
You bet.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30 or download the podcast. Watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or using your favorite podcast player. Our videos are up on the Facebook or YouTube channels. You can see our smiling faces if you like. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. I'm Dennis Green. I'll talk to you later.